In today's modern society where noise and showmanship seem to dominate every corner, there exists a quiet yet deeply compelling power: silence. Many believe that to be attractive, one must stand out, talk more, or constantly prove themselves. But the Stoic sages revealed an opposite truth. Sometimes it is silence, calmness, and inner presence that draw others most powerfully. Imagine this. You walk into a room without saying a word, without striking a pose, or putting on a display, yet every eye turns toward you. Not because you are loud, but because your presence carries a special energy. Calm, confident, and irresistible. This kind of magnetism doesn't come from clothes, status, or reputation, but from the way you live, the way you carry yourself, and the way you preserve peace within your mind. Stoicism calls this the art of self-mastery, when you control your emotions, remain undisturbed by external circumstances, and feel no need to prove your worth through loud words or flashy actions. It is this very silence that becomes an invisible language of strength, inspiring both respect and a desire in others to be close to you. In today's video, we will explore 12 habits that create silent charisma, Stoic-inspired principles that make you attractive without noise, without pretense, but with a strength and endurance far greater than any superficial beauty. The first habit is confidence in silence. It doesn't begin with words, but with your posture and presence. The Stoics believe that when you truly master yourself, you don't need to boast or seek recognition. True confidence is not about talking a lot, showing off, or arguing to prove you are right. It radiates through the way you remain calm, composed, and steady in any circumstance. Imagine someone walking into a crowded room. They don't say a word, they don't try to draw attention, yet their gaze, posture, and movements naturally make others take notice. That silence is not emptiness, but power. It sparks curiosity and makes people want to come closer. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "True strength is when you can control yourself, not others, and confidence in silence is the clearest expression of that truth." To cultivate this kind of presence, you must practice being fully present in every moment. When someone speaks, listen deeply instead of simply waiting for your turn to reply. When facing difficulties, keep your breathing steady and remain calm rather than letting worry show on your face. When standing before a crowd, your composure and tranquility will naturally become the most persuasive language, without the need for elaborate words. This not only makes you more magnetic, but also makes others feel safe in your presence. They sense that you are someone in control, not easily swept away by chaos. And it is precisely this steadiness that creates a lasting kind of attraction, one that rises above any superficial display. Confidence in silence is not something that can be forced in a single moment. It is the result of long-term inner training. When you learn not to be swayed by glances, praise, or criticism, or comparison, confidence gradually becomes your natural state. The Stoics believed that an unshaken mind is the foundation of true presence. And once that presence is cultivated, you don't need many words. Your very being is enough to affirm your value. The second habit is to cultivate the art of true listening. In a world where everyone rushes to speak and compete for attention, the one who truly listens becomes deeply magnetic. The Stoics taught that we have 2 ears and only 1 mouth to remind us that listening is far more important than speaking. When you listen attentively, not just with your ears but with your eyes, gestures, and presence, you send a powerful message. I respect you. Think back to a time when someone truly listened to you. No interruptions, no judgment, no rush to offer advice. That feeling made you feel valued and understood. And this is exactly why those who know how to listen are often admired, trusted, and possess a lasting kind of charisma. On the other hand, those who only wait for their turn to speak often reveal impatience and unintentionally make others feel unimportant. A conversation then easily turns into a monologue, losing its sense of connection. But someone who knows how to listen transforms every dialogue into a space for sharing and bonding, where the other person feels safe to open up. The silent power of listening lies in the fact that it requires no boasting and no need to dominate the stage. It creates a calm space where others are naturally drawn to you because they feel valued in your presence. And that is the art of attraction in the Stoic spirit. Silent, yet making others want to stay close to you for a long time. True listening not only makes you more magnetic in the eyes of others, but also nurtures your own clarity. Each time you listen, you expand your capacity for understanding and strengthen your patience. For the Stoics, this was a form of self-control, not rushing to interrupt, not letting the ego dominate, but allowing space for others to express themselves. When you can do this, you become not only an engaging conversational partner, but also a model of humility and maturity. The third habit is learning to remain calm in difficult situations. Life rarely unfolds the way we want it to, yet it is in those chaotic moments that a person's silent charisma is revealed most clearly. When you refuse to be swept away by emotional storms, you not only protect your own inner peace, but also become a source of stability for those around you. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment of it." That is the essence of calmness. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can always control your own response. And when you respond with composure, you not only master yourself, but also silently declare that no force can shake you. Calmness is also a reflection of a mature soul. When you can remain composed in the face of turmoil, you prove that you are not enslaved by external circumstances. This is evidence of a solid inner strength, a strength that makes others feel trust and stability in your presence. Calmness is not just a reaction, but a way of living, a conscious choice to protect clarity and self-mastery in every situation. In reality, those who cultivate this habit often become a lighthouse in the eyes of others. When everyone else is lost in chaos and confusion, it is their calmness that inspires trust and creates a sense of safety. People are naturally drawn to them, eager to learn and to be within the orbit of such a steady soul. That kind of magnetism doesn't come from appearances or promises, but from an inner strength forged through every trial. The fourth habit is learning to control your words. In everyday life, many believe that speaking a lot, speaking loudly, or constantly interrupting conversations will help them gain attention and stand out. But in reality, those with silent charisma understand the true power of words and know how to use them with restraint and wisdom. The Stoics believe that words are like a double-edged sword. They can heal and inspire, but they can also wound, destroy trust, and leave scars that are hard to mend. That is why, instead of speaking in anger or letting emotions take control, they chose silence when necessary and spoke only when their words truly carried value. This is not forced suppression, but deliberate control, a clear expression of wisdom and inner strength. Picture a tense meeting where everyone is rushing to argue, each trying to impose their own view. Amid the heated atmosphere, one person listens fully, remains silent to observe, and only speaks once the room has calmed. Their words are brief, concise, yet powerful enough to quiet the entire room. This is the strength of wisdom in speech. Few but precise, gentle yet deeply persuasive. The philosopher Epictetus once reminded us, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we may listen more and speak less." This habit not only helps you avoid unnecessary conflicts, but also makes others see you as calm, thoughtful, and trustworthy. The allure of controlling your words does not come from how eloquent you are, but from your ability to create silence between them. When you know when to speak and when to remain silent, you make others wait, pay attention, and value every word you say. It is this restraint that creates a lasting kind of attraction, not loud or showy, but powerful and enduring. The fifth habit is learning to use your eyes and presence as a silent language. In communication, many people focus only on words, but in reality, it is your gaze and the way you show up that determine your true magnetism. When you are fully present, with your mind undistracted, that presence is naturally conveyed through your eyes and your demeanor. Think back to a time when you were talking to someone who kept glancing at their phone. Even if they nodded along, you still felt disrespected. On the other hand, when someone looks you straight in the eye, listens attentively, doesn't interrupt, and doesn't let their gaze wander, you immediately feel understood. That kind of focus is one of the strongest signs of genuine care, and it is exactly what makes that person so magnetic. A steady gaze does not mean staring intensely or creating pressure, but maintaining just enough eye contact that conveys calmness, confidence, and sincerity. It is a gaze that does not avoid, does not waver, and does not need to be exaggerated. Like a still lake reflecting inner tranquility, such eyes immediately reveal strength and steadiness, making others naturally want to trust and stay connected with you. Complete presence works in the same way. Wherever you are, let your mind be fully there. Don't let the past pull you back or worries about the future scatter your focus. A person who is truly present, living fully in the moment, radiates a unique kind of charisma, an attraction that requires no promotion, because that very focus makes others feel safe and valued. The sixth habit is to maintain discipline as a natural part of life. The Stoics believe that true attractiveness does not come from bursts of momentary brilliance, but from the ability to consistently repeat the right actions with steadfastness. When you uphold discipline, you send out a silent signal that you are in control of yourself rather than being swept away by desire or laziness. Not everyone can maintain discipline because it requires sacrifice and persistence. Yet it is precisely this difficulty that makes it such a defining quality. A disciplined person radiates a sense of stability that others can clearly feel. It is a stability that needs no explanation, no display, yet it inspires trust in those around them. Discipline, when maintained, becomes a kind of silent strength that sets you apart. It is not loud, it does not seek praise, but it quietly proves that you are capable of overcoming yourself every single day. The Stoics believe that the greatest victory is not in conquering others, but in conquering one's own weaknesses. That is why every discipline act, no matter how small, contributes to a steady presence that radiates lasting and admirable charisma. Looking deeper, discipline is also the measure of self-mastery. It shows that you are not controlled by circumstances or desires, but that you set your own boundaries and abide by them. The Stoics often emphasize that true freedom is not doing whatever you want, but the ability not to be enslaved by fleeting desires or emotions. And it is discipline that brings about this highest form of freedom. When discipline is practiced over time, it gradually becomes a natural part of your character. Attraction then is no longer the result of trying to impress, but the product of a balanced, steady, and self-governed life. This is the kind of magnetism that does not fade with time, because it is built on the lasting foundation of training and perseverance. The seventh habit is choosing simplicity as a guiding principle of life. The less a person depends on external things, the freer and more magnetic they become. Simplicity does not mean deprivation. It means knowing what is truly necessary, removing what is excessive, and keeping both the mind and life light and clear. Simplicity brings a natural beauty that requires no embellishment. When someone is not preoccupied with proving their worth through material possessions or status, they become a living example of strong inner strength. It is this serenity that radiates a quiet magnetism, allowing others to sense authenticity and genuineness, and naturally drawing them closer. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that all external things, wealth, status, praise, are beyond our control and cannot guarantee lasting happiness. Those who live simply understand this truth and therefore do not let their minds be bound by them. They radiate independence in thought, a strength that comes from within rather than borrowed from the outside world. Simplicity not only frees you from material burdens, but also opens space for a more expansive soul. When you are no longer held back by complicated desires, you can more easily feel freedom and find joy in the small and pure things. A person who lives simply carries a beauty that never fades because it comes from authenticity and harmony with nature. And it is this harmony that becomes the source of a deep, irresistible kind of charisma. The eighth habit is cultivating an appreciation for silence. In a noisy world where people constantly try to fill every space with sound, images, and words, the ability to sit quietly with oneself becomes rare. Silence is not merely the absence of noise, it is a state of mental balance, a space where you connect deeply with yourself. Silence carries a unique energy. When a person feels at ease with quiet, they send out the signal that they do not need to seek attention or validation from the outside. This makes them magnetic in a subtle way because the peace they possess radiates outward, allowing others to feel safe and at ease in their presence. The Stoics regarded silence as a tool for observation and understanding. In quietude, they could hear the voice of reason and remain free from the sway of fleeting emotions. In this way, they preserved clarity and the ability to act rightly. This too is a profound form of charisma, the allure of wisdom and self-mastery. Silence, when cultivated, is also the place where you rediscover your true self. Amid the layers of noise and social expectations, only silence allows you to clearly hear the voice of your inner being. The Stoics saw this as the foundation for wise action. Before stepping out into the world, return first to the stillness within. And when a mind grows familiar with tranquility, it naturally radiates a deep allure, for nothing can disturb or strip away its inherent clarity. Keeping promises as a principle of life is more important than reputation or wealth. The Stoics believe that true value is proven by the consistency between words and actions, and it is this very consistency that forms the foundation of lasting influence. That trust becomes the source of silent charisma, a magnetism that requires no display, yet naturally radiates through every relationship. A promise is not only a commitment to others, but also a measure of self-mastery. Once you make a promise, you are challenging yourself to maintain discipline and stay loyal to your inner values. The Stoics regarded this as a clear expression of character. You cannot control the outside world, but you can fully control the honesty of your words and actions. The allure of keeping promises lies in consistency. Others may not remember everything you have said, but they will always remember whether you kept or broke your commitments. And when they see that you are someone who never goes back on your word, their trust and respect for you will only grow stronger over time. This habit is also proof of steadiness and integrity in character. Every promise carried through to the end not only strengthens others' trust, but also nurtures your own self-respect. The Stoics saw promise-keeping as a boundary that keeps us from being swept away by external forces, for it reflects the ability to master oneself. When your words and actions are always aligned, you radiate a silent, enduring magnetism, earning respect without the need for any display. The 10th habit is cultivating patience. This is not passive waiting, but the ability to remain calm and clear-minded throughout the course of events. A patient person does not rush to react or hastily chase results, but is willing to let time and right action bring forth the outcome. Patience reflects a unique kind of inner strength. It shows that you are not controlled by impatience or external pressures, but instead maintain complete self-mastery. This makes others sense your depth and steadiness, naturally drawing them toward you. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that much in life lies beyond our control. Instead of resisting the flow of events, the wise choose to patiently observe, adjust themselves, and wait for the right moment to act. This attitude not only allows them to live more peacefully, but also creates a subtle kind of magnetism, the allure of a mind that knows how to accept and master time. Patience is not merely waiting, it is a testament to one's trust in the natural course of things. A patient person shows that they do not need to rush to prove themselves or cling tightly to everything, because they understand that lasting results always come with time. This way of living reflects steadiness and maturity, inspiring those around them. And from this calmness, a quiet magnetism is born, the magnetism of someone who not only masters themselves, but also moves in harmony with the natural flow of life. The 11th habit is maintaining a mindset of contentment. The Stoics believe that happiness does not come from possessing more, but from the ability to appreciate and be satisfied with what you already have. When a person practices contentment, they are not swept into the cycle of comparison and competition, but instead radiate calmness and self-possession, making others feel at ease in their presence. Contentment reflects a free mind. It shows that you do not tie your self-worth to material possessions or external validation. This creates a natural magnetism, as inner stability always radiates into positive energy for others. Those who are not haunted by lack or driven by excessive desire often carry a serene presence. And it is precisely that serenity which becomes the most profound form of allure. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that excessive desire is always a burden to the spirit. When you know how to stop, how to appreciate what you already have. You not only free your soul, but also demonstrate a distinct kind of strength, the strength of not allowing the outside world to control your inner happiness. Contentment is the art of freeing the mind from the chains of endless ambition. The Stoics believe that when a person appreciates what they already have, they not only protect their inner peace, but also radiate a natural, magnetic strength. It is the strength of satisfaction, a heart ungoverned by lack or desire. A contented person does not need to compare, does not need to prove themselves, and it is precisely this steadiness and freedom that make them deeply respected and sought after. The final habit is acting according to values, not emotions. The deepest form of magnetism in a person does not come from appearance or words, but from living with principles. When your actions are guided by values rather than fleeting emotions, you radiate a quiet strength that commands respect. The Stoics saw this as the foundation of a noble life, letting reason lead the way and virtue serve as the compass. Living by your values brings consistency to the way you face life. Whether in favorable circumstances or adversity, you maintain integrity and steadfastness. It is this consistency that builds solid trust, as others recognize that you are not easily shaken and do not lose yourself amid turmoil. Acting based on values also demonstrates that you are not driven by immediate impulses. Instead of reacting emotionally, you choose to reflect, deliberate, and base your decisions on what truly matters. This is the clearest sign of maturity and self-mastery, and it is what makes you magnetic without the need for noise or display. Those who live by their values become symbols of steadiness. They need no elaborate promises or flashy embellishments, because it is their consistency and authenticity that form the most powerful attraction. And that is the closing message of this journey. Silent charisma does not come from trying to be seen, but from living true to the best version of yourself. Through these 12 habits, we realize that silent charisma is neither an innate gift nor something derived from outward glamour. It is the result of inner cultivation, of knowing how to master oneself, live by principles, and maintain calmness in a world full of distractions. The Stoics left us a legacy. True strength does not lie in subduing others, but in mastering oneself. When you learn to listen, remain calm, appreciate simplicity, or live according to your values, you are sowing the seeds of lasting attraction, a magnetism that is quiet, yet naturally draws others toward you. Silent charisma is not a way to stand out for a fleeting moment, but a journey to become a person of depth, reliability, and steadiness. It is a form of attraction that transcends a passing glance, leaving a lasting impression on the minds and hearts of others. Finally, the most important thing is that you do not need to chase attention. Simply living with self-mastery, wisdom, and contentment allows you to shine in your own way, a quiet yet enduring radiance, true to the spirit of Stoic philosophy, steadfast, clear-minded, and free within your own life. And if you want to explore how to apply Stoic philosophy to become naturally and deeply charismatic, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the upcoming videos on this channel. This will be a journey that helps you cultivate calmness, confidence, and a quiet magnetism that comes from within.